my homies, my peers, my beef and my fears. This is my city, my city, my city, my city. My city, my town, my hood, my grounds that I stepped on and I walked on, pitched on and I hung around. My blood, my tears that I shed through the years for my homies, my peers, my beef and my fears. This is my city. Champion of the world. Let's get ready to rumble. Champion of the world. 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 My city, my town, my hood, my grounds that I stepped on and I walked on, pitched on and I hung around. My blood, my tears that I shed through the years for my homies, my peers, my beef and my fears. This is my city, my city, my city, my city. My city, my town, my hood, my grounds that I stepped on and I walked on, pitched on and I hung around. My blood, my tears that I shed through the years for my homies, my peers, my beef and my fears. This is my city.
Oh yeah, this is my city, baby. The pound for pound come from my town.
My town, my hood, my grounds that I stepped on and I walked on, pitched on and I hung around. My blood, my tears that I shed through the years for my homies, my peers, my beef and my fears. This is my city, my city, my city, my city. My city, my town, my hood, my grounds that I stepped on and I walked on, pitched on and I hung around. My blood, my tears that I shed through the years for my homies, my peers, my beef and my fears. This is my city. Get 'em, boss, get 'em, boss, get 'em, boss. Woo!
Yo, it's your boy Kusha, man. It's the vibe of Sunset. You already know what it is. Chickies, I know they cool. You know when I need her. Turn around and then go down. Shorty come make me feel like. One more time, let me say that.
Hey, baby, throw your back out. You been showing business for a second, gon' act out. I ain't even mad a little way you make it poke out. I'm on demon time and I can show you how it go down. Yeah, she bout that action, told her ass to watch the 4 pound. She don't like to listen, turn me on with that cute frown. Body stay popping while she twerking, drop it to the ground. Twerking, drop it to the ground. Shorty gon' make that sound.
Ooh, you know when I need that. Ooh, turn around and then go down. Ooh, shorty come make me feel like. Ooh, one more time, let me say that. Ooh, you know when I need that. Ooh, turn around and then go down. Ooh, shorty come make me feel like. Ooh, one more time, let me say that. Ooh, oh girl, why you doing to me? I like that, why you doing to me? Yeah. Why you do it to me? I like that, why you do it to me? Yeah. She knows how to make me crazy. Baby, I know well, I feel it. Couple times you feel it daisy. Because I hit it like this. You know when I need that. Ooh, turn around and then go down. Ooh, shorty come make me feel like. Ooh, one more time, let me say that. Ooh, you know when I need that. Ooh, turn around and then go down. Ooh, shorty come make me feel like. Ooh, one more time, let me say that. Ooh, let me hear you say. Ooh, everybody say. Ooh, Oh my God, I can hear you say, ooh. One more time, let me hear that. Ooh. Let me hear you say, ooh. Oh my God, everybody say, ooh. One more time, let me hear you say, ooh. Stop, let me hear that. Ooh. You know when I need that. You know when I need. Turn around and then go down. Turn around and go. Shawty come make me feel like, ooh. One more time, let me say that. Ooh. You know when I need that. You know when I need. Turn around and then go down. Turn around and go. Shawty come make me feel like, ooh. One more time, let me say that. Ooh.
All right, Omaha, the Burbs, the Bloods. Welcome to the Boss Morning Show. We call it Black Friday. Oh, yeah. We encourage those of the Black diaspora to support those of the Black diaspora in business. And we encourage our neighbors, oh, yes, our neighbors, to support Black businesses because Black people support everybody every day. And we just want to reciprocate. We're trying to grow our community, man. And the only way to do it is to actually do it. You know, some people talk about it, we bout it. Some people pray about it, we bout it. We actually put it in action. So we actually put it in action. Just put it on the counter there. I'll put it away. In the bathroom? Or? Yeah. Or the kitchen, either or. So on this morning, it's gonna be a little bit cooler, even though it's still gonna be hot. Okay. You need energy already? My man Phil say you need energy already. Absolutely. I know it's been warm. I know the warmth been taking everybody energy. I don't know. I like it. I know fall is coming. I do love fall though. You know, we do get the 4 seasons. That's one of the blessings that we have here in Nebraska. Right. Yeah. But we do get the 4 seasons, and so I'm not going to complain. You know, if we were in
I've been doing enough complaining for you, William. You don't need to complain.
Yeah. But if I was, you know, I do love Vegas, but Vegas is flooded right now. They flooded. So no, man, in the middle of the map. Oh yeah, we're in the middle of the map, and people gonna be start moving here. Watch, because the coastline is everywhere's on fire, and they still got fire up in Canada. You know, we still got bad air quality here this morning.
What is it this morning?
It's yellow, kind of yellowish orange this morning.
Yellow's not too bad. People do have to be careful if they have certain breathing conditions.
Yep. So
conditions. And the way to keep track of that, go to the health department's website, www.douglascountyhealth.com. Please then go over to the menu on the left-hand side, the little drop-down menu. Click on air quality. You'll get an update on the conditions. Be able to look at a map that shows what's going on around the country. You'll also get the forecast there. So then you'll have a little bit of knowledge.
Yeah, without a doubt.
To be able to make some plans.
Football's going to be outdoors today and cross country.
There were a couple games last night, weren't there? Wasn't there a game or two around town last night?
I think so. I rested early last night. I went to bed early last night. I knew I had to get up and get ready for this weekend. I got a full weekend, man. So it's going to be a busy weekend.
It's a busy weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the beginning of school, kind of like the end of summer. Those events and everybody trying to wrap up the back to school events. There's another back to school event tomorrow over at
Where's that?
let me see. I got that. I got it. They gonna get mad at me. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me bring it up. Let me see. I'm not gonna play the commercial, but I got the commercial in here. It is. Oh, okay. Omaha Church of Christ. Omaha Church of Christ is putting on a back to school event. So if you're late, sometimes we are late, but you still want to donate. It's still time. It's still time. So go over to the Omaha Church of Christ, and then I know Willie Hamilton tomorrow is have his pantry tomorrow. We might have some information there also.
Willie's a friend of mine. He does a remarkable job. I drive by that pantry sometimes on my way to meetings in North Omaha, and 6 blocks long. The need is
right.
There's a lot of need out there.
So that's
A
why
lot
we
of
call
people
it.
are doing well. A lot of people
Yeah,
are still
yeah.
hurting.
Yeah, a lot of people still, like you said, and there's still a lot of people still recovering from COVID themselves, and so they're still kind of balancing, life.
And there was a nice little segue into something I was going to talk about today. COVID.
Hmm.
Cases continue to increase in the metro area, nowhere near what it was at its peak, but it is steadily increasing. And there is the new strain EG5, or also known as ERIS, E-R-I-S, meaning the Greek goddess of life, strife, and discord. I don't think we've done genetic typing locally, but it's, I believe, about 20%. From what we do know of where that has been done, it's around 20% of the new cases. It's so it is the it's the most frequently occurring variation of the virus in circulation. There's also another strain called FL1.5.1 or Fornax, and that is surging in some places in the U.S. It's a little over 13% of the cases. So we have two new strains out there. They are not much different from other recent strains of Omicron, which appeared in November 2021. It's had a lot of subvariants, but it does appear that the vaccines that have been prepared will be able to give you good protection against these strains. It's still part of the Omicron family, so they should be able to protect you from that. What else? There is a new mutation in the spike protein of the EG5, the ERIS, so that may make the vaccine somewhat less effective. It does not appear that it causes a more severe disease than the others. So a lot of you may be walking around what you think is a summer cold, and it could be COVID. You should get tested. There are still people that need to take extra precautions, but hospitalizations have increased, but it's not a surge like we saw during the peak of the disease at all. And there is a new booster shot. We expect that to be available the end of next month. So I would encourage people to start thinking about that now. Do you want to get it? Talk to your healthcare providers, talk to people you trust. Please be well informed so you can make a good decision, make the decision that is right for you.
No,
we do expect a fall and winter COVID spike. One of the reasons is just because people who have it, if we're going back indoors, or people are gathering together outside, it's harder to transmit outside, but people will be gathering together for sporting events. People will be starting to gather inside classrooms, other indoor activities. So those are situations that are more likely to see the spread of COVID or any other disease.
Well, so we got to continue to follow the great hygiene program just by washing our hands.
We can't have a show without talking about washing our hands.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be one of the greatest deterrent.
Yep. Cover your cough, wash your hands. If you feel sick, please stay home. Stay home.
Yep.
There are 2 RSV vaccines for people over 60 and a preventive monoclonal antibody for infants and toddlers. We expect all those are going to be available this fall, it looks like. So RSV makes young children and the elderly sick. It attacks children's immune systems aren't as well developed. Often older adults, their systems are not as vibrant, as robust as they once were. So there are now medications for that. Of course, the flu shot is going to be available. Flu season starts October 1st. I believe that's when we start tracking them.
Okay.
So people will be getting their flu shots pretty soon. I think if you've, I was at one of the local grocery store chains the other day for something, and I got a flyer in my bag about the flu shot being offered there.
Being
so
proactive.
I think the flu vaccine is available, and some vaccines we will be able to provide some vaccines at the health department. Nothing on the scale of the clinics we had before, and this time around the COVID vaccine. To get back to that, a lot of people I know the flu vaccine's covered by a lot of insurance programs. COVID is probably going to be covered by most insurance carriers. You'll have to look for that. Make sure that is the case with those. So, but as we start moving indoors and the disease appears to be making a little bit of a surge, not unlike other upper respiratory infections.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, avoiding people who are sick. If you're in confined spaces, consider wearing a mask. When I'm not trying to talk you into it, don't let anybody else talk you out of it if you think that's the best thing for you. You can make your own decision there. And people 50 years of age and older should take precautions to avoid getting any of these diseases, especially if you're immunocompromised or have underlying medical conditions. Those include obesity, which is very common, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder, COPD. If you have those diseases, these are things that attack your lungs, and that's where you get into some very serious health concerns.
Wow. Well, health is wealth, y'all. Health is wealth.
Are you doing okay over there?
Well, allergies. Tis the season. To me, my allergies are kind of like worse when they come at the end of August, early September, kind of when the transition of getting closer to fall. And so isn't there more seeds and pollen in the air around this time during the transition between summer and fall?
Well, I would think pollen would be more in the spring, but there might be different ones out now. We also have, there's just a lot of construction going on around. There's a lot of things potentially in the air.
Right.
And it may be indoor. There's sometimes I go indoors and I have more allergy problems than I do outdoors. So
right.
We're all individual. Again, that is something you go to our air quality page though, and it can tell you what the pollen counts are and what sources are causing the biggest at this moment. You take a look at it, and it'll tell you if it's trees, if it's grass, or if it's something else out there.
Right.
Maybe causing you problems because you may be allergic to one, but not allergic to the other. So.
Right. Well, I do go to the steam room, and the steam room does help push up that mucus in my, what do you call them, small capillaries? I think that's the scientific name. And
I'm not aware of that one, but
I try to stay healthy. The steam room does help for lung health. For anyone out there, it does help for lung health. It helps get rid of the mucus out of your lungs, and just got to have a better water content. We got to drink a lot of water, y'all. Dehydration is one of the ways that other ailments that have the ability to attack us. That water in our system is so important.
Mm-hmm. Okay, a couple other things. Air quality. We did touch on that briefly. You mentioned that earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Something you want to keep an eye on. So go to DouglasCountyHealth.com. Left-hand side of the website, click on air quality. Find out what the situation is. I know it has been varied considerably from day to day.
Mm-hmm.
The heat will have an impact on it. Traffic has an impact on that. Whatever may be going in your area. We know those. I think I heard somebody said yesterday it's over 1,000 fires in Canada. I don't know how many there are. You look at the map. There's a whole lot of northern part of this continent that's on fire, and it's going to take a while for that to get under control. Hopefully, it does come under control.
Right.
But right now, that is a major concern. We also know that there's some extraordinary weather happening on the West Coast. It has pretty much gone through there. So anyway, keep an eye on the air quality. Easy to follow. Good way to take care of your own health. Heat, I think we're finally getting some relief from that today. Heat being the number one weather killer. Mm-hmm. And I believe we're all aware of the tragedy that occurred this week involving the 1-year-old girl. We can't talk about heat without saying do not leave pets or children in cars in hot weather. Well, I think we have. That's a reminder. Obviously, we have to keep making to people,
Uh,
and it's still going to be pretty warm today if you're
Mhm.
going to be outside, but it's
Yeah.
not going to be. We're not going to have the air, heat. The air, the heat
Humidity.
index is not going to be around 115 to 120 like it was.
Well,
So it is not going to be as dangerous, but there still is a cumulative effect of having gone through that for days.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping we'll make it throughout the summer without hearing a tragedy.
I was too, but
And condolences to that family. I know the man that that made that egregious error. Please, just be conscientious of little people. I call them little people because I got a 2-year-old and they have a mind of their own, man. For real, they I think all the way up to 6. Because I got a 6-year-old, he has a mind of his own too.
I know a 6-year-old pretty well, as you know, and he has a mind of his own.
Right. So but we gotta watch out for them because they're making their own decisions. So we gotta watch out for them. We gotta watch out and being parents, we just take our time sometimes. Just take our time and being workers, and that's why we always give shouts out to our bus drivers, those that drive our precious cargo, the next generation, because we appreciate you guys. You're transporting our grandchildren, our children, and we want people to obey the traffic laws too. So let's take our time this Friday, y'all, and let's just take our time. I think God said, "Let's be still," and so we don't want to talk about another 1-year-old because it did affect me. I know I know both families. It's tough.
I
It's
got a
tough.
text from an auntie yesterday of the child. So
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us know people that were affected by that. I know other people. Some of my family members know some of that family.
So,
but also workers out there.
mhm.
Still not a bad idea to take it easy, take some frequent breaks, get some water.
Yes.
We are in a state where that's allowed, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
And take a cooling break tomorrow. Should be a little bit better. There's probably nothing real urgent you have to do outdoors. If it's not part of your job, it can probably wait till tomorrow.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot of
Tomorrow
things you may have to do.
it's gonna be like almost 20-degree switch.
Yep.
So
It's supposed to be pretty nice tomorrow. So remember that. But take heat seriously. It is a very dangerous part of our element of our life, element of our natural world.
if you're going to football games tonight, and I know thousands of us are tonight to support our young people, make sure you go hydrated. Go hydrated. It makes a difference if you go hydrated because you're going to be out in that sun at least a couple hours before the sun goes down.
Yep, in all likelihood you will be, and you also want to drink some water. Drink a lot of water. You can probably get water at the location, but water is the best thing. We can all drink water, I think. It goes well with anything else you're taking. It's not going to cause any conflict with anything else you're taking.
Mm-hmm.
So water is definitely the best thing to use to hydrate. You don't want anything with caffeine or alcohol in it. Those are diuretics. They'll help you get rid of fluids. You want to keep fluids in you. So those two, not to mention that alcohol also can contribute to less than clear thinking at sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another reason to try and avoid the alcohol. You don't have to try to avoid it. It can be done. We all know that could be done. So you want to avoid alcohol. So drink water tonight is the best way to go. If you have been outside perspiring a lot,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes drinks with electrolytes, some of the sports drinks might be needed to help you replenish some of that. But generally water is the way to go.
All right.
Speaking of water, we have friends that like to reproduce in water. They're called mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
There has been a West Nile death in the state. It was out west, I think, in Scottsbluff County. A lot of mosquito pools, and a pool just means a grouping of them. Doesn't mean a batch of water. Right. I'm not talking about a pool there. That's generally where they breed and where you find them.
Mm-hmm.
But there have been about 162 pools of mosquitoes found. That's groupings, batches of mosquitoes. None in Douglas County yet, and no human cases yet in Douglas County of West Nile.
Okay.
So I would be very surprised if we don't have some pretty soon. It is not it's nothing unusual that we haven't had any at this point in the season.
Mm-hmm.
But I strongly suspect they're coming. I don't think we had a case until September last year, and it was probably around that time we had our first pool. So
Okay.
still, if you're outside around, and that just also means we haven't found it yet. Maybe it could mean there are people out there who have been infected with the mosquito. We know we have 2 human cases. We do have 2 human cases of West Nile in Douglas County. Those are people who traveled to areas where it's much more prevalent. So in all likelihood, they did not catch it here.
Okay.
And it cannot be transferred human to human unless you give a blood transfusion, but they check for that. So that's not going to happen. That's how that is sometimes found. But if you're going to be outside around dusk or dawn, it'll be a lot easier now to wear long sleeve shirts, long pants, use a repellent, get rid of standing water around your homes, or at least keep it fresh. Dog bowls, bird baths, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Plants that may have it, your landscaping may have a little dip in it that allow water to gather. Best to get rid of that so you don't have any problems. So.
Without doubt, it's football season, so there's going to be millions of people out every Friday, Saturday nights, and it's been kind of chill summer.
Thursday nights.
Yeah, Thursday nights. So just take those precautions as you gather. I think the Huskers play next weekend?
They play next Thursday.
So
we may be talking about their game with Minnesota this time next week.
Mm-hmm.
I venture to say that we will be.
I'm pretty sure it will be, without a doubt. Great luck to all those student athletes from all levels. That's going to be competing this weekend. Great luck and great safety. Being a former athlete, no one wants to get injured, so great safety for all the athletes this weekend also.
Yeah, let's hope for an injury-free season.
Right. Yes.
And those are some people we definitely need to get hydrated. What we were talking about, the heat, everybody's familiar with the heat index. There's a combination of the heat and humidity.
Mm-hmm.
That's a measure of what they expect it to be in the shade. There's the wet bulb globe temperature, which is how they compute the temperature impact will be out in the sun, which would be for the kids playing sports. Because in my experience, there are very few trees on football fields or soccer fields.
Right.
So no shade out there, but hydrate those kids and make sure that they get through safely.
Also for the audience, if you're sensitive to the sun, but you still want to participate, you might want to bring an umbrella or a nice hat, so you can keep the
sunscreen.
Yeah, sunscreen. So you want to take all those precautions also.
Don't forget sunscreen. It's
so being attracted.
It's a very real problem that people can get skin cancer. Melanoma is real.
Without doubt. So, and being a track athlete, we're used to making sure we're bringing some type of shade. So
a lot of people get a little portable tent
or something.
People are going to be doing your tailgating.
Yes, without doubt. So y'all need to take and shouts out to all the man. I love track and field. Shouts out to all the American athletes, all the athletes around the world. I mean, great sportsmanship. I saw great sportsmanship between the countries. I wish the politicians would follow the athletes sometimes. You know what I mean? So regardless they win or lose, they still congratulate each other and show sportsmanship. Sometimes sports is the ambassador of how we should behave. I appreciate the World Games. I was so proud of our athletes and how they behaved in regards to sportsmanship.
And now we have the FIBA World Basketball Championship starting up, don't we?
Yes. Same thing.
Yeah, and they've been through these preliminary rounds as exhibition games, but pretty soon it's for real.
Oh yeah. So
when is that? Today, tomorrow?
It probably is playing tonight. I thought they played early this week. I thought I saw them play early this week.
I think those are still exhibition.
So
a lot going on.
Yes. So shouts out to all our everybody. We need all our intelligence, everybody to come together. I know it's Friday. I know it's relaxed, but some people, this is their Monday. And so we appreciate everybody, being conscientious. Hygiene, if we want to keep this next variance down, we got to make sure that we wash our hands If we feeling sick, make sure that we stay at home. This is the reason why we bring the health department in, so we can make the best decisions, for our lives. And it comes with information.
Yep. The knowledge you need to keep yourself as healthy and safe as possible. So that's what we're trying to provide you. And don't be afraid to seek other sources, but make sure that they're good, legit sources. Your healthcare provider, your local health department. We have medical schools. We're very fortunate. This community has 2 medical schools.
Yep.
And that's unusual. Well, there are states that don't have 2 medical schools.
Right. And the world look at us in regards to, infectious diseases. They have, different type of facilities here that can handle that. And so, like you said, we're very fortunate. So we got to use that intelligence and making sure that we pass on that knowledge. Like Nebraska has expanded Medicaid. And so everybody should have insurance so we can have a healthier community. That's the objective. And so it's usually men that really don't have health care. Usually our children usually have it. Our women usually have it. But we just want to be more proactive. And so if you know someone that does not have health care, they can get in contact with the Nebraska Health and Human Service. They'll guide them to, I think, about 3 vendors that will guide you with the Medicaid expansion so you can get insurance. All right. Health is wealth, y'all.
Yes. Get a well-being check. Find out what's wrong with you before you get really sick. It's a lot easier to treat some of these diseases when you catch them early.
And also, I got a banner behind me, NOAA, North Omaha Area Health. They are partnered with, of course, Dulles County. They provide free testing, STIs. Is that what it's called?
Usually call them STIs, sexually transmitted infections. Yeah. Used to be called STDs, but now STIs is the preferred term.
And so they do all type of testing for free. Like I said, we want you guys to be proactive. And mental health is also a part of health. And there's all types of agencies from Boys Town to Charles Drew. I mean, we have a wealth of agencies here that can handle that capacity also.
Yeah, and we did just release the CHIP report this week. I think one of the local TVs, KETV, is going to have a story on that tonight. Is the plan. Sometimes stories like that get bumped.
Okay.
But the CHIP Community Health Improvement Plan, the focus on that is on mental health, reducing the stigma, making it more available, and making sure that we have, to make it more available. You also have to have more providers. A lot of things that go into it, but encouraging people to take care of that because if your mental health isn't good, say you're dealing with depression, it's likely that you may increase your alcohol use. You may not sleep as well. People start to use other substances. They'll ignore things. They'll become reckless, and you can become reckless in your behavior. Now, on all that can just it can all snowball and make things much worse. So, mental health is it's key to being health, and there certainly are disparities in the availability of mental health, and we want to make sure people are aware of it, reduce the stigma, and make sure people get the help they need because it's treatable.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, my degree is in behavioral science, so I've been in plenty of rooms from Charles Drew to Emmanuel Hospital. So we got to make sure that our brain is a organ, and sometimes it does get injured. And so we got to make sure that we pay attention to that organ because it controls all the other organs in our bodies. And so mental health is connected to our physical health. No matter if we hurt our leg, it's going to go up to our brain. It's going to register through our brain, through our nervous systems. And so that it's all connected. And mental health is so important. So we encourage you to be purposeful on seeking, seeking help if necessary. 988 is another number. It's a national number, suicide number for those that need to talk to someone, and it's anonymous. But we encourage you to talk to someone.
And if you call 211, I'm sure they can direct you to a source for finding help in that area. So, very important. I think that does it for today. We've covered a lot of territory.
All right. Omaha, the birds of bless. We're going to be right back with you Again, today it's going to be a beautiful day, but this weekend is going to be fabulous. So if you can hold off on your yard work for another 24 hours, you will thank us. You will thank us. Be careful this Friday night. Make sure you go to those games hydrated, y'all. I know they have emergency EMS workers there, but if you go hydrated, we'll have less opportunity for any type of emergencies. Anything else, Phil?
I think we're good. Have a good, safe weekend, everybody.
All right. DNA, since we're talking about health, boss with us.
He's the famous agenda.
Real fatty can pull.
You already know. You have a horse inside it. I've never met someone like you before. I'm so grateful to have you in my life. There is something special about you, yeah. You see your DNA, when you make me feel. You see your DNA, everything about you. You see your DNA, when you make me feel. You see your DNA, everything about you. Oh, cheat up, 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 cheat up, 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 cheat up, 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 cheat up, cheat up, cheat up. My baby, my everything. When I get in my medicine, every day when I need energy, I wake up and ride like a Nike. And when I'm up on a tattoo, you just make feel like a commando. You just only one get my back to. Let me tell you that you might see your DNA. The way you make me feel. See your DNA. Everything about you. See your DNA. The way you make me feel. See your DNA. Everything about you. Cheat up, cheat up, cheat up, cheat up, cheat up, conocido, alguien como tú, eres increíble, te he robado mi corazón, nunca he conocido, alguien como tú, eres increíble, te he robado mi corazón. You see your DNA, the way you make me feel. You see your DNA, everything about you. You see your DNA, the way you make me feel. You see your DNA, everything about you. Cheat up, cheat up, cheat up, cheat up, Get off your ass today. No time to go back and forth. I got a back today. Thank you for the love and all the hate. That's something else to say. I got a back today. I got a back today. Time never waited. You should've never tried to play me. I'm just reaching for the greatest. You ain't even heard the latest. Got a lot of excuses, ain't nobody gonna regret it but you. Everybody getting better than you. Your mom even said it a few times and you ain't got nothing to lose. Oh, get off your ass today, get you a bag today. I don't have time to debate. I got a bag to make. I got some plans to make. I don't have time to waste. I'm on my job today. I'm working hard today. Na. Hey, yeah. Time never waiting for me. Get off your ass today. No time to go back and forth. I got a bag to make. Thank you for the love and all the hate. Got something else to say. me. I got it back to me. Time never waiting for me. Get off your ass today. No time to go back and forth. I got it back to me. Thank you for the love and all the hate. Got something else to say. I got nobody gave you hope, man. You wanna use that rope. Cause you can't go, man. You can't get off your ass. Get you back. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm working hard today. Nah. Hey. Time never waiting for me. Get off your ass today. No time to go. Thank you for the love and all the hate. Got something else to say. I got it back to me. I got it back to me. Time never waiting for me. Get your ass back to me. Back to me.
This while on my mind, ain't moving high. Yeah, I see you making you ain't moving high. White blue diamond set the mood on. Do it. You don't take the groove, you can't do it high. All this while on my mind, you can't move high. Yeah, I see you move, but you move high. Did it? Gold and blue diamond set the mood on. Do it. You don't take the groove, you can't do it high. I'm colder than the blizzard and 3 buckets of run late night, I'm up with nice critters. Walking D-boy got a nice spitters. For the guys searching the Christ new. These talking money, talking the niggas. I came to business, I ain't shooting no switch. Hit you with this bitch. I'm standing like King. I'm trying to build this and that, the cable. All my POS and we connect to the neighbor. Flipping very selling on this move. Tag game, while on my mind, groove, you can't do it, I do. All this while on my mind, you can't move, I see you make move, but you move, I did. I go and blue down, make the mood on high. With the needle tip, you can't do it. 3, they like the phone that was giving them. Yeah, the blicky gives think it's a joke. With the that be strong. Turn something for running off of the dope. Lil' man, the show and respect. Pope, man, he's a Pope, man, he's a chill, freaking, I bust out. Ran up that back from the south. She moved to a condo from my house, and she do with you unless you got a mom. She independent, name, she ain't tryna spend no time, she need that money, she a bad bitch, can't no bitch say she ugly, she the hottest in the city, she been buzzing, she a fool on that dick and she get money too, randoms in your DM claiming that they love you, damn, she done hypnotize you, how she make that every smooth, she ain't looking for love to her from the last dude, in his feelings he can't get a bag, you a bro, she ain't tryna feel that, well, she ain't listening to no rumors, gotta speak facts, she ain't got too many hella mean. How you doing, my name? Why you laying? I got all the motion. I seen you looking at me before I even approached you. You wanna keep it a secret?